Wake production.
All right, Exro Technologies. Now let's look at this. We've been absorbing, essentially, this is what's happening, okay? First and foremost, we've been absorbing a nice impulsive move to the upside for 69% in just about a month. If we're looking from the lows in September, we're absorbing a 313% move, okay? So it's important to understand it's going to take a little bit of time, but what I like to see here is that we're clearly developing some sort of continuation pattern in this area, right? Whether it's going to be a triangle or, for example, this is what the triangle could potentially look like here, right? We could have something like this going on where we're developing a triangle in this zone before we get a breakout. It could also be potentially that we have an inverse head and shoulders developing in this zone where this is our little supply at around $3, and we have our left shoulder here, our head at the higher low, and then our right shoulder being developed right now, right? That could be the play here as well. Either way, it's looking like what's happening is we're just simply digesting before we make our move up to the next supply area. So again, it's important to pay attention. This is why we're slowing down in this range up here, is because there's still probably a bunch of people who, for example, they bought a bunch of shares at 6 or 5, right, or 4, whatever, and they feel like this is their best opportunity to, sell for a loss at a not so bad loss, right? 40% instead of them being down 85, right? So you have to think that there's probably a lot of people. You could also think of it the other way around, where there might be people who bought in at 77 cents and are taking gains at around 280. Either way, this is a wall here, right? And that wall is just taking time to weaken down. So let's take away these zones real quick and try to see on the volume profile where we could potentially go to, right? So what we're looking at here, beautiful. We have a bunch of, let's look at something like this and see how it changes up. So right around this zone, that makes sense, right? We're stalling at $3 because there's a large wall up here. Above that, there's really not much. We'll be looking at this 417 zone, right? 417, 420. That's the next area. So we're going to erase this now and pay attention to this potential zone here, right? So that could be the area where we go up to, which, if we're looking at it, ideally does line up with this potential higher high being around that area. So for those who don't understand, the higher high starts from here. Low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low. If we're looking at this from a trend perspective, we should anticipate the next move will bring us into that zone. So it's looking real good for Exro. Okay, so again, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is like a 5-wave impulse move, right? So if we're looking at this as a wave 1, okay, let's look at bigger picture, maybe potentially 2024, 2025, right? What could we be looking at? If this is the wave 1 move off the low, we could look for a 1, 2, 3 correction eventually into this range to bring us that wave 3 to all-time highs, right? So this will be wave 1, 2, 3. That's what we'll be looking for later on. In the meanwhile, this zone right here will be the perfect area to not only take gains, but, well, for those, I'd be definitely, for those who got in down here, this is definitely an area for taking gains. For those who have a very long-term mindset on Exro, we want to anticipate what's going to happen, right? So that's why I kind of brought up the wave 2 and wave 3 move there. But that right there is the breakdown on Exro. Peace.